All right, so we're diving deep today into the future of jobs, your future to be precise. You sent over the World Economic Forum's Future of Jobs Report 2025, all 123 pages of it.
Oh, wow.
But don't worry, we've sifted through it all so you don't have to. Consider this your cheat sheet for navigating the job market between now and 2030.
Well, what I find impressive about this report is that it's not just some abstract prediction. It's based on this huge survey, over 1,000 major employers representing something like 14 million workers. These are the people who are actually out there shaping the future of work.
14 million workers, so real insights from the trenches, not just theoretical musings.
Exactly, and they're seeing 5 major forces that are going to reshape the job landscape. Understanding these forces is kind of like having a map to navigate the future.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Lay it on me. What are these 5 forces?
Well, first up, of course, technology. No surprise there, right? But this report goes deeper. It focuses on the accelerating impact of AI and automation. In fact, a staggering 86% of employers believe that AI will fundamentally transform their businesses by 2030.
86%. That's huge. I mean, I know AI is a hot topic, but I hadn't really grasped how quickly it's expected to change everything.
It really highlights the urgency, I think, for you to consider. How might this technological wave impact your own career? Are you in a field that's ripe for automation? What skills can you develop now to stay ahead of the curve?
That's a great point. It's not just about understanding the technology itself, but about anticipating its effects on different industries and roles.
Absolutely. Now, the second force shaping the future of work might surprise you. It's geopolitics. We're seeing a rise in global fragmentation. Think trade tensions, shifting alliances, all of which has big implications for business decisions and job markets.
So we're moving away from this hyper-globalized world I've been in for the past few decades. How does this fragmentation actually play out in the workplace?
Well, for you, it could mean your company reevaluates its supply chains, leading to new opportunities in logistics or regional specialization. Or it could mean a shift in demand for your skills based on where businesses decide to relocate or which markets they prioritize.
It's like a giant game of chess with businesses and workers trying to anticipate the next move on the geopolitical board. Okay, so that's 2 forces. What's the third one that's going to shake things up?
The green transition. And it's not just a trendy term, it's creating entirely new industries and transforming existing ones. Think about the growing demand for professionals in renewable energy, sustainable manufacturing, environmental consulting.
So we're talking about more than just jobs installing solar panels. What kinds of specialized roles are emerging in this green economy?
Well, for you, this might mean exploring fields like carbon capture technology or circular economy business models, even regulatory compliance related to environmental standards. These are all areas where expertise is in high demand, and it's only going to grow.
So it sounds like the green transition is creating this whole new playing field with its own set of rules and opportunities. Okay, so we've got technology, geopolitics, and this green wave. What's the fourth force shaping the future of jobs?
Demographics. It's all about people, how many there are, where they are, how old they are. These factors have huge implications for the labor market.
So it's not just about the skills we have, but who's available to do the work right. Can you give us a concrete example of how demographics might actually impact the future of jobs?
Absolutely. Consider the aging population in many developed countries. This is going to create increased demand for healthcare professionals, elder care specialists, even financial advisors who specialize in retirement planning.
That makes sense. As the population ages, the demand for those types of services naturally increases. But isn't there also concern about labor shortages as older workers retire?
That's a valid point. Some industries may face challenges finding enough skilled workers to replace those who retire. And for you, this demographic shift could present an opportunity. Have you thought about how your skills could be applied to meet the growing needs of an older population? It could be a path to a really fulfilling and in-demand career.
That's a really interesting perspective, turning a demographic challenge into a career opportunity. Okay, so we've covered 4 major forces: technology, geopolitics, the green transition, and demographics. What's the final piece of this puzzle?
The economy. It's the backdrop against which all these other forces play out. And right now there are some headwinds: inflation, slowing growth, and uncertainty about the future.
So even with all these exciting opportunities emerging from technology and the green transition, there's still a sense of caution in the air because of the economic climate.
Precisely. Businesses are hesitant to make big investments or expand rapidly when the economic outlook is uncertain. This means that competition for jobs could become more intense, and employers might be more selective in their hiring.
Okay, so you've got these 5 powerful forces all swirling around, creating both opportunities and challenges. But does the report actually get down to brass tacks? Does it predict which specific jobs will thrive or decline?
It does, and this is where things get really interesting. Despite all the disruption and uncertainty, The report actually predicts a net increase of 78 million jobs globally by 2030.
Wow. That's good news. It sounds like the future of work isn't as bleak as some headlines might make it seem, but I imagine this job growth won't be evenly distributed across all sectors and roles.
You're absolutely right. Some jobs are poised for rapid growth, while others face a steep decline. Let's start with the winners. Unsurprisingly, technology-related roles dominate the list of fastest-growing occupations.
That's not surprising given the dominance of technology as one of those major forces we talked about, but can you give us some specific examples of these in-demand tech jobs?
Think AI specialists, fintech engineers, data scientists, cybersecurity experts. These are the people building, managing, securing the digital infrastructure that's powering our world. And their skills are in high demand across industries, not just in Silicon Valley.
So if you're tech savvy and eager to learn, there are plenty of opportunities out there. What about beyond the tech world? Are there any other sectors experiencing significant job growth?
Yes, remember the green transition we talked about? Well, that's translating into a surge in green jobs. Think renewable energy engineers, environmental consultants, even specialists in sustainable agriculture and urban planning.
It's encouraging to see that the green economy isn't just some abstract concept. It's actually creating real, tangible job opportunities. Are there any other surprises on the list of fastest-growing occupations?
Here's one that might raise an eyebrow. Delivery drivers.
Delivery drivers. Really, with all this talk about self-driving vehicles and drones, I thought that job was on its way out.
It's a fascinating paradox. While automation is transforming the transportation sector, the rise of e-commerce and on-demand services is creating this huge surge in demand for delivery drivers, at least for now.
It's interesting how technology can simultaneously create and eliminate jobs within the same industry. But I can't help but think that delivery drivers are in a somewhat precarious position. What happens when the technology catches up and those autonomous delivery systems become widespread?
That's a valid concern. It highlights the importance of adaptability and continuous learning. For those in roles that are vulnerable to automation, it's crucial to be thinking about how to upskill or reskill for the jobs of the future.
So it's not enough to just land a job. You've got to constantly be thinking about what's next and how to stay ahead of the curve. Okay, so we've talked about the winners in this job market of the future, but what about the other side of the coin? Which jobs are facing a decline?
Unsurprisingly, the jobs that are most susceptible to automation are those involving repetitive tasks that can easily be done by machines. Think data entry clerks, factory workers in certain industries, even some administrative and clerical roles.
So those seeking job security might want to steer clear of roles that are heavily reliant on tasks that can be automated. But this isn't just about specific jobs disappearing, is it? It's about the skills that are needed to thrive in the future of work.
You've hit the nail on the head. The report emphasizes that a whopping 39% of worker skills will change by 2030. That's almost half of all the skills we use in the workplace today.
That's a staggering figure. It really underscores the need for lifelong learning and adaptability. But what exactly are these new skills that will be so critical in the future?
As you might expect, technological skills are high on the list. AI, data science, cloud computing, cybersecurity. These are all areas where expertise is in high demand. But here's the twist. It's not just about technical promise. Human skills are more important than ever.
Human skills. I'm intrigued. What exactly do you mean by that?
Think about the qualities that make us uniquely human. Creativity, critical thinking, complex problem-solving, emotional intelligence, the ability to collaborate effectively with others. These are skills that machines, at least for now, can't replicate.
So it's not just about being a coding whiz or a data crunching guru. It's about being able to think critically, communicate effectively, and work collaboratively in a rapidly changing environment.
Exactly. In fact, the report found that while technological skills like AI and data science are growing rapidly in importance, they're often coupled with these other skills like analytical thinking and creativity. Employers want well-rounded employees who can leverage technology, but also think outside the box and adapt to new situations.
It's like this fascinating blend of high-tech skills and these uniquely human qualities. That's what's going to define success in the future job market. This report really paints a vivid picture, but it can also feel a bit overwhelming. What can our listener actually do with this information to make themselves truly invaluable?
Well, that's where getting specific comes in. What are your existing skills and interests? What are the particular needs of your industry? This report really dives deep into these sector-specific trends, which can be so helpful for making strategic career decisions.
Right. A software developer is going to have a different set of priorities than a teacher or someone working in healthcare. Let's say our listener works in finance. What kind of insights can they glean from this report?
Well, finance is already being heavily impacted by AI and automation. Algorithms are being used for tasks like trading risk assessment, even customer service.
So like those traditional banking jobs, loan officers' tellers are likely to decline even further.
That's what the report suggests. But it also highlights the growth of new roles like fintech engineers and data analysts who can build and manage these AI-powered systems.
But it's not just about job losses, but rather a shift in the types of jobs and skills required. What would you say to someone in finance who wants to stay ahead of this curve?
I'd say embrace the change. Start getting comfortable with data analysis. Familiarize yourself with the basics of AI. Consider how these technologies are impacting your specific area of finance. Maybe there are some online courses or professional development opportunities you can explore.
It's about becoming a lifelong learner, constantly adapting and expanding your skill set. This report is packed with so much valuable information. It's truly like a roadmap for navigating the future of work. Are there any other nuggets of wisdom we should highlight before we wrap up?
Yeah, one thing that really stood out to me was the finding that over half of employers plan to increase the share of revenue allocated to wages.
Really? Why is that?
It's likely due to the increasing competition for talent. With these skill gaps widening, employers are having to offer higher salaries and better benefits to attract and retain skilled workers.
So that's like a potential silver lining for workers in this evolving job market?
It could be. Of course, wage growth is also tied to factors like inflation and productivity, so it's not a guaranteed win for everyone. But it does suggest that employers recognize the value of skilled workers in this changing landscape.
This report has been incredibly illuminating. It really highlights how complex and interconnected all these forces are. Technology, geopolitics, demographics, the environment, the economy. It's not just about AI taking over. It's about understanding how all these pieces fit together.
Absolutely, and that's why this report is so valuable. It provides a holistic view of the forces shaping the future of work. It's not just about predicting the future, it's about empowering you to navigate it.
So what does this all mean? The future of work is clearly in flux, but there are opportunities out there for those who are prepared.
It's about being proactive, adaptable, and constantly learning. And it's about thinking critically about that bigger picture. How are all these forces interacting? What does that mean for your own career path?
Well, what stood out to you in all of this? What are your biggest questions?
I think for me, it really reinforces the importance of lifelong learning and the need to stay curious about these emerging technologies and trends. The pace of change is only accelerating, so we all need to embrace a growth mindset.
That's a fantastic takeaway. It's not just about acquiring a set of skills and coasting through your career. It's about constantly challenging yourself, learning new things, adapting to the changing demands of the workplace. And always remember, knowledge is power, especially in a world that's changing as rapidly as ours.